actually wanted to do a quick video of a before and after situation. So it took me 13 years to organize my books here. This is actually just some of my collection. So this is one of those IKEA giant cube monstrosities. I have one in my room. I have my Batman statues here. So it's Superman, Green Lantern, Crimson. I got back in the day when those books were coming out. Batman black and white stuff, a Jim Lee Batman figure, still in the box. My guy Nightwing. So I have just as many Nightwings as I do Batman. This is one of my favorite statues right here, is this Mike Mignola Batman. And then of course the Bruce Timm mulleted Robin, or excuse me, Nightwing. After he was Robin, grew the mullet out. And then the Killing Joke Joker back here. Alright, so anyway, here's a good portion. So everyone organizes their collections differently. So up here, these rows, these are actually all X-Men, Uncanny X-Men, regular X-Men, adjectiveless, astonishing. Behind this stuff, my buddy Scorpio Sky's old mask. I took off of him in one of our matches. And then down here, like this row here, this continues Marvel, so that's Avengers, and then it's alphabetical after that. So I don't collect that many different Marvel titles, so it's pretty limited. So as you can tell, X-Men takes up 4 rows, the rest of Marvel takes up 3.5. So those are CGC books right here at the end. Behind the CGC books are a little bit more Marvel, but I think I started filling it up with other stuff as well, just because I had extra space and I was running out of room for my comics overall. So the third row, that is Image Comics, mostly the 90s stuff. And since most of those titles are dead now, they're not ongoing titles. The only ongoing title there that I collect is Savage Dragon, and I'm just getting back into that. And these bottom bins, so I need more of these. Because this actually holds way more stuff. This slides out very nicely. There's some kind of like padding underneath that gives it a nice slide out. And so I get this much more books. So this is the extra amount of books I get per, as opposed to this. So yeah, this row here, that's I think equivalent to how much I can get in these bins. So if you look back there, and then so this stack here, this is like my J. Scott Campbell stuff. So in the front is like covers. So I got this for I think 50 cents or something. Yeah, I think like 50 cents or $1. Something like that at Comic-Con a long time ago. And this was kind of like when he was in his lull. So he was doing like G.I. Joe and stuff like that. And I guess they just weren't selling as well as they have been recently. So I got all this stuff for like $1 or 50 cents or something like that. Yeah, this Common Ground, I don't even know what this title is. Top Cow book. I've never read it. I just grabbed it because it was a Campbell cover. So here's where it gets into the series. So this is like Gen 13. All this stuff is Gen 13. More Gen 13. And then DV8. The DV8 cover. Wildsiders. More Wildsiders. It goes into Cliffhanger. Whoops. Switch. Okay. Let me get in a better position here. And then into Danger Girl. And then so Danger Girl goes on, and what do we? I think that's still Danger Girl. Some more Danger Girl. I'm pulling it at an angle. More Danger Girl. Is this? Okay, I didn't think so. So we go into Battle Chasers in the back here. And so the rest of those books back there are Battle Chasers. And then continues over here, so we go into Steampunk. I think I switched to Steampunk because... Oh no, I fit Crimson in here too. Oh, that's weird. Why would I put Steampunk after... Maybe I didn't think it was going to fit, and it did. So Steampunk and some other Humberto Ramos stuff. Crimson, and then Humberto Ramos stuff. Revelations. I did keep Humberto's Spider-Man run, and like he did some, I think he did some X books as well. I kept those in the runs themselves, as opposed to taking them out. I actually did the same thing with this bin. So Campbell's interiors are not as extensive as Jim Lee's. Sorry about all of that, if that was crazy to see. I was moving some stuff around behind me. So this is my Jim Lee bin. Jim Lee is my guy. That is my favorite artist of all time. So this bin shares nothing, shares with no other artist. This is all Jim Lee. So I kind of go through his career. So it has Alpha Flight in the beginning. And I might not have these in the exact order, but I try to put it in somewhat of an order. So I have Alpha Flight. Maybe I did it alphabetically. We'll see. So this is Alpha Flight stuff. Let me see. Yeah, so it's okay. It must be an alphabetical. So I did so many different types of organization. So I went company, and then alphabetical, or by like Image, for instance, has multiple companies within a company. So we got Punisher War Journal. I think I have a large majority of these. 4. I have number 1 in here. Sometimes I'll pull the ones. Okay, so we have one right here. So Image has multiple companies within the company. So, for instance, I think this is Extreme. So I started with Extreme first, and then put that stuff in alphabetical order. And then this might be like Shadowline or something, or Savage Dragon, probably Savage Dragon next. And then so it's Savage Dragon, Freak Force, Super Patriot, stuff like that. Those are all together. And then Spawn, or Shadowline, and then Spawn. And then the rest of the comics, the rest of the Image comics are all together. So, actually, yeah, it's this road in here. And I actually couldn't even get to Wildstorm up here. I ran out of space upstairs, so Wildstorm is actually downstairs in my main studio. Okay, and then so I go through Uncanny X-Men. So I have a ton of Uncanny X-Men in here. More Uncanny. And then I go to regular X-Men. And then to Wildstorm, so I went to Divine Right. Okay, so I for sure went by company and then alphabetical. So I went all the Marvel stuff first. And then I went to Image, because he goes to Image next, right? So I have Divine Right, and then I have Wildcats, Classic, and then, what do we got over here? Oh, and then so some random covers that he did. Hardcore. When I was a teenager, I thought it was Hard Corpse. So hardcore. Okay, sorry, ran out of space there. Since I last recorded this, I actually ran into a bunch of stuff to do, so I'm actually restarting this a couple of days later, and luckily I left off on Hardcore. So yeah, when I was a dumb kid, I didn't know that was hard. I thought it was Hard Corpse. Okay, so then we go into DC. We have some Green Lantern covers that he did. I love this cover. This was one of my favorite covers that he did for quite a while, and I wish he did a whole storyline. I wish he drew interiors to Green Lantern with Kyle Rayner. And I think this is the reason why Kyle Rayner is one of my favorite Green Lanterns, is Jim Lee's costume design and these covers. So I really like this book a lot. And then after that, we have some Superman, Batman, Superman, and then of course his Hush run. And then Batman and Robin, and then Superman. So I went alphabetical with that. All right. And then the last two bins on this side, these are actually the current Image comics, or maybe just I think it's just Image comics. I could be wrong. Let's check. But it's essentially the current books that I read. So these are books that I'm into. I loved this series, Airboy. This was a fantastic series. Yeah, so it's like current Image comics in alphabetical order. And Black Science, Rick Remender's. It's either him or Robert Kirkman that are my favorite writers. I'm not quite sure which one is my favorite. Sometimes when I'm reading Remender, I think it's him, and then when I read Invincible, I think it's Robert Kirkman. So we got Deadly Class. A lot of Remender titles in here. More Deadly Class. Let me get this spin out a little more. East of West. Got some Hickman. I think this is all East of West. Let me try pulling it out there. Oh no, we got some Farmhand. End Times. So yeah, it's alphabetical Image. This was a fun series. 5 Ghosts. He has the power of... shoot. I just pulled this out of order, so I'm going to have to figure it out. The Archer, the Wizard, the Detective, the Samurai, the Vampire. So he has like these stones in his chest, and so he's able to take on the ability of each one of these characters. The Archer has Robin Hood, Merlin, Sherlock Holmes, Genghis Khan, I guess, and Dracula. Nosferatu, something. I'll put that back in order later. Gotta find out where it went. What is this? Why isn't this? I have trouble. One is in here without a backboard. It's going rogue. Image United. Isola. I thought it was Isola, but then I heard a Carl Kerschel interview, and he pronounces it Isola. So, all right, I'm gonna put that back in order later. Oh gosh, thing's heavy. So more of the same over here. I got a box in the way, so I'm not gonna try to pull it out. But I can see that I have one of those dollar bin books, 50-cent bin books. And so this is a stack of comics. These are ones that I want to have just off to the side. Like they're a bunch of number ones or key issues of certain books and first appearances. I have like some of my X-Men in here. A lot of the X-Men is in this box. So I ran out of space, but so I got these boxes. So this is new. Okay, so when I started this video, this wasn't here. I just did this right now. So all of them look like this, but I think I'm going to pull this bottom row out and put these boxes or these books in this box, and then I'll have this much space right here to add more books to the side. So these are like dead Image titles that are no longer going on. So I'm not going to need to pull these boxes out too much. So I kind of like the idea that the box will be here, and then I'll have this space. Unfortunately, these bins are out of stock, or they're discontinued. So until I can find some online or something like that, eBay has them for a ridiculous amount. They're like $40 on eBay, which is nuts. I think they were like 15 or 20 at IKEA. So they want double the price for them, since I think they bought them all when they were clearancing out. So that's one stack. And then, sorry, my room's insane, so I'm going to just swoop over as fast as possible so you don't see any of the junk. And I got a Billy bookcase on the other side of my room here. And so I got my Thor pops up here. It's some of the few pops that I want to keep. I had 300 at one point, and I think I probably want to keep about 40, 50 at the most. So I got Luke and Leia, Garbage Disposal. And we got Adam Eve statue. We got Mikey. This isn't a very expensive Ninja Turtle figurine my best friend got me for my for Christmas, actually. And I got Kevin Eastman's signature on the bottom of the foot, like Andy from Toy Story. Got a Taika Waititi pop, and this was the Asia exclusive Thanos, but then they released like all Infinity Stone color versions of it, so that went from like a $200 pop to a $30 pop, so it's kind of sad. Got my Mike Mignola Hellboy hand, and then I have a Stan Lee signed Mjolnir. My buddy works for Marvel, and he helps at Comic-Con and stuff like that, so he was able to hook me up with a pass to meet Stan Lee and get a signature from him. So I went, Thor 1 just came out during that time, so I went to the store and I bought that toy Mjolnir, had him sign that. So yeah, that's just my room for now, and when I finish putting those boxes in, I'll let you guys get a quick look at that. All right. Okay, I finished. So I like it. I like the way it looks. It looks clean. I do like the look of the entire shelf having books like this. So I was a little reluctant to do it, but I do like the look of it. It's balanced. You have the two comic shelves on the top here, the 2 rows, and then you have these other ones, so they're kind of uniformed in the sense that you kind of have the images here, and then you got the side stacks there. So I do like that. Here's my issue with it. I am losing storage space by having them in those bins. So what I mean is these are short boxes, so it's the exact same length as these shelves up here. It's the exact same amount of books as this, but it's easier to get to. Like they're front loaded, so you can see the titles, the numbers, etc. However, I had gotten these 4 boxes that would give me 4 boxes worth of storage space. Now they're just occupying the same shelf that the books were in. I like the fact that I have my CGC books here. Like, I do like the pattern of it. It looks good. But again, that's 4 boxes I could have used to store more books. So I have about a short box to 2 short boxes, like stacks like this, of books that need storage space somewhere. So these are like books that are coming in. They're ones that are potentially to be CGC'd at some point. Got a little Astro City action there. Look, I was smart enough to buy 2 copies of it. So these are books that potentially might be CGC'd in the future, or that I just want to keep off to the side, kind of like current books. Black Hammer #1. Got a couple of copies of those. Oh, sorry. Okay, so now I'm just getting that again. So yeah, I do like the look of it, but I'm just losing all of this storage space. So I can easily, I won't go up because my light's right above this, so I'll try to get you. So there's this top shelf up here, and I can put those bins up there. And so I would have way more storage space by doing that. So what I might do is I just might move these boxes up there with the comics that are in them right now. They're in alphabetical order. These are, like I said earlier, these are my image books. So it's like the titles that are dead. So you have like Savage Dragon, you have Extreme Studios, Savage Dragon, Shadowhawk, and Spawn. Yeah, Spawn, Shadowhawk, Spawn. And all those older titles. So those all occupy in those boxes. So they're in order. So if I just move them upwards, they're going to stay in order. Nothing gets messed up. So then that way I can put all of the current books that I'm currently reading, or these other stacks, I can put them in those slots. So I'll sleep on it and see what I come up with. I might do it, I might not do it. Let me know what you guys think. If you guys have these bins and you don't need them, send them my way. Give you my P.O. box and everything, and pay for shipping. So if you don't need them, I need them. And I think it'll look real nice if I had this entire, is this the Calyx? I believe that's what it's called. And I think these bins are Lekman. Lekman. So if you see any Lekmans that you don't need, you let me know. All right, option 3. Okay, I ended up putting back the dead image titles. I did take the time to take them back out and put them back in because I realized it doesn't make sense to put my current books that I'm buying now in something like this, where it's going to be hard to find where everything is and just to get everything back in order. So this is the other option I did here. I took my short box, my regular short box, and filled that up full of whatever was in that cube that it's in now. So this one here. So I took the books out from there and I put that in there because I do like this option, the side with the CGC books. That Amazing Spider-Man is actually my favorite box out of all the ones I bought. Unfortunately, the glue came undone, and so I don't know how dependable that box is going to be. So I taped it with some packing tape to hold it together, but I don't know that it's going to withstand being on its own. So, all right, so what I did with those boxes, I took them and I put them up here on my dresser. So it looks like this now. Yeah, so the room's still dirty. I'm just reorganizing everything and making everything fit. But I do like these boxes up here. They're all very cool boxes. The image of the Hulk, this is Alex Ross, big fan of his work. I'm not that big of a Hulk fan, so if my Amazing Spider-Man box wasn't broken, I would have that up here because it has Ryan Ottley art on the sides of it. But I mean, this is still a really cool image, but I would definitely have Ottley up there since he's my, I think, second favorite artist right now, behind Jim Lee, of course. So yeah, all right, this is the option, and yeah, I dig it. I think it's cool. I definitely want more of these bins. So again, if you have them, hit up your boy.